What's up? This is Max.
This is Jonah.
And this is Dan.
And this is episode 8?
Yeah.
We forgot to check.
I think it's 8.
You're right.
8. Yeah. So I guess we do have our ducks in a row. By the way, speaking of ducks in a row, sorry. Speaking
Take his toy away.
Yeah, they just had to take my pen so I don't click it. Speaking of ducks in a row, just a quick aside before we start. Is it proper to say I have my ducks in a row and then I'm gonna knock them down?
No, isn't that more about bowling pins? Like
yeah, you
them
put
down?
your pins in a row and knock them
But
down.
Is ducks in a row? Where does that come from? Because I thought it was like
duck pins.
Like you put the ducks in a row and then you shoot them. So like you got them lined up.
I always imagine it as like ducks crossing the street. I don't know if I'm just stupid.
I always thought of duck pins like bowling, but
I thought ducks in a row was like I have everything set up and like shit's going good, but I have my pins in a row and I'm about to knock them down. Is like I have a plan in place. Like I have everything like ready. I just need to execute it and then I'll be good.
Yeah, I just need to shoot.
Yeah, that's the difference was for me.
I like Jonah's the car. Just hit them all at once.
I never said anything about hitting them. I thought it was
implied.
I thought it was just like my ducks are in a row. We're gonna cross the street now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought of you just pressing the gas pedal.
Why would you want to kill the ducks?
I was thinking you wanted.
Why would you spend the time to put them in a nice little row just to fucking run them down with your SUV?
I don't know. That's your prerogative.
It's
man.
not my prerogative. You're putting words in my mouth.
All right, are we ready to go to the first real topic?
That wasn't the first real topic.
No. So we should do some house cleaning about the protest because especially the day after we recorded was the Anonymous Day. Mm-hmm. So we didn't get any of that.
I actually didn't really look at any of that, so I'm interested.
So that was basically like the return of Anonymous, I guess.
Yeah.
There were some people who were like, there's no way this is the real Anonymous. There's no way they would have this Twitter account, but it seems legit.
And even if it's not the real Anonymous...
They did Anonymous level shit.
Yeah, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're Anonymous level, then you're Anonymous.
Yeah, and they have the masks. They don't just hand those out to anyone.
Yeah, it's not like you bought me that for Christmas or anything.
Yeah. So have you ever seen the video of the guy at Anonymous where like one guy's trying to like make one of those videos where he's like talking with the low voice, and then there's another guy in Anonymous mask who comes over and just like moons the camera.
No,
it's really good.
That's sick.
Well, it's good to know that the Anonymous guy's like the pal around.
Dude, that's risky. That guy identifies sphincter or something.
Yeah, but so Anonymous, they came back. They released that Epstein Black Book. Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say? Something?
I was just gonna say, for all the people that said that Clinton liked to rape kids, you should check the names on that.
Isn't he in it?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's not just him.
Well, he still was on.
I guess what I was getting at is that like Trump supporters would be quick to say, this guy's a child rapist. I'm like, well, he's not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and they hacked a bunch of like police scanners, and apparently they also released a tweet that was like, please stop DMing us nudes. so Twitter is in full form that day.
That's sick.
And yeah, so we also have to go over the fact that charges were changed. Mm-hmm. The protest worked.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I don't like to say the protest worked because I don't want it to stop there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very fair.
It's like beyond George Floyd, but I'm happy.
We shouldn't settle for a small compromise and more see it as like a step towards a goal.
But what I think is kind of stupid, I don't want to say stupid, but I think is kind of misguided is people are pushing for first degree, which like I think in their mind they're like, oh, first degree is worse than second degree. It'll give them more time, but like first degree requires like premeditation and planning. Right. So there's
no way you're gonna.
If you charged him with first degree murder, like Chauvin or whatever his name is, if you charge him with first degree murder, it would be much easier for him to get off. So I think it's safer to go with second degree because like that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where I think I don't want to come out as anti the protests, but that's the point where like sometimes they do need to like And obviously it's not everyone, but there are people who need to do their research sometimes who don't.
Well, I mean, like, also the protest pushing for first degree, I don't think will do anything anyways. I don't think anyone's. I think there are people who are pushing for it, but I don't think that's the majority. I think most people are like, his charges are worse. The other cops, I'm pretty sure, are being charged now too.
Yeah,
like,
they are.
Like, I think that's accomplished, and now like everyone's moving on to like sort of Breonna Taylor and like just the movement in general.
And the police funding is a big one.
Yeah.
Which, like, I've seen a lot of people talk about how you're never going to win with the police funding, and it makes you sound stupid because they need the funding to, like, actually do their job. Mm-hmm. But they actually kind of don't, because they didn't get the funding that they have in the current era of, like, you know, with all the, basically, as we went over in the last show, the military grade gear that they have.
Yeah.
They didn't get that until like the late 90s. They didn't get that till under Clinton. So. And
also, they're not ever really using this gear unless it's like situations like this where they're overusing it and abusing it. So like, why the fuck should they have it in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do agree. At first I didn't. At first I was like, maybe like it's a little much to ask to cut their funding. But then I thought about it and was like, no, it actually it's not.
And like I forget where it was. I think it was. I'm not even gonna say where it was because I don't want to be wrong. But I saw a city like changed like rerouted funding from the police to like urban initiatives.
Yeah, I remember.
Which I think is like the ultimate goal. Is like not only like decrease the funding for like police, but put it towards people who need it, especially like black people or like urban areas who are being most affected by all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's another thing. I feel like a lot of people don't really understand that like I think a lot of people on the side of the protest don't understand like what systematic racism actually means. A lot of it is the fact that like when everybody was making money, black people were not, because they were in these segregated, really shitty neighborhoods.
And like it set them up for like decades upon decades.
And that's not even factoring in the fact that for 200 years, when everyone was making money, they were in chains.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a hindrance.
Like, even if you're not from like a quote unquote old money family, you still benefited from old money, whereas they never had that option.
They started from behind. We got a head start.
You go.
As in people that weren't, our ancestors weren't slaves, therefore they got to work and make money.
And like, not only did they start from behind, like even when they were fucking given the green light to go, they were so absurdly restricted that they didn't have anywhere to go. Like, whereas everyone else was already in the stratosphere, they could barely get off the ground. Mm-hmm. And then they were punished for not being able to get off the ground, even though they were given the worst situation possible to live in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when people are asking for like they do that like tongue in cheek, like, oh, when do we get our like 3 goats and whatever, like that old like 1800s like reparation was supposed to be. That's what that means. Is they're saying like we still there's never been any effort to make up for all this lost income.
And like that's one thing that like a lot of older people don't understand. Like my parents don't really understand it. Like they're like, okay, so like they should like have equal opportunities as everyone else, but like I don't want to have to like pay for them to like get ahead. It's like, no, you're not paying for them to get ahead. We have benefited from a system that fucking destroyed them, and so we need to sort of shift our benefits to them. So if we have to pay more in taxes to benefit like the urban community or the black community, fuck, do it. Like that's gonna end up with a greater whole of everyone being on an equal level. There's a difference between equality and equity. Equality is like giving everyone the exact same rights. Equity is making up for the differences between people. And that's what we need to do. Not just give everyone the same opportunities, but make it to a point where that's actually feasible.
Like, I think it's a very, a sort of like fiscally conservative idea that if you give everyone, I guess, a sort of quote unquote opportunity to rise out of poverty, they don't have it because of systematic racism. So when you pay for example, like if you were to let's say you want to go to college so you can get a better degree so that you can get a better job. And if you're in a family that can afford that, it's easier for you to move up. But if your family is working a job that doesn't pay enough, you literally cannot move up. You know?
It's like going off to college. It was really interesting because like I come from a family who's everyone's been to college. People have gone back to school and done shit. And I went to school and I met so many people who were like first generation college students, and their past wasn't like, oh, they came from like a foreign country and had to like build themselves up from the bottom. It was like, no, my family's been here for fucking forever. They've just been fucked over. And like it was really weird for me to experience that because I've like been surrounded by like white dudes who went to college, and so it was interesting seeing that was like an issue for people, and I think that really opened my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's the whole like it's sometimes in those neighborhoods it can be kind of hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. I think that's another thing that people don't talk about it as much. But I also want to talk about how, did you guys notice there was a lot of protest shaming online? In terms
coming
of
from who?
Coming from people who were protesting and judging other people for like people who would post the black screen and then judge people for not posting the black screen.
Dude, I posted blackout. It's one of like the least things you could do to support the movement. Like that is, if you only did that and you judge people for not doing that, you're a fucking imbecile. And also, there were a lot of like the Blackout Tuesday was kind of destructive to the movement because a lot of people, what you were supposed to do is just tag it Blackout Tuesday. But a lot of people tagged it like Blackout Tuesday, Black Lives Matter, BLM, and they clogged all these like hashtags full of important information for protesters. And so like if you went on like the BLM hashtag for like on that Tuesday, it was just all black screens and no actual information or actual like impassioned post. It was just fucking dipshits who were like, oh, I'm gonna put my finger in front of my camera. Like, it's like how do you mess that up?
And you can call me pretentious all you want, but I actually did DM a few people on my Instagram feed like, oh, just remove the Black Lives Matter hashtag because a lot of people are complaining that it's clogging up actual useful information.
I did that to like 2 people and I felt like such an asshole doing it, but I think that's like the best thing to do.
Someone had to do it.
Did you guys see? You might have not, because you guys obviously don't follow NBA circles, but
nope.
There was ex-NBA star Paul Pierce tried to post the Blackout Tuesday, and his picture was gray. And everyone was like, bro, are you fucking kidding me right now? You can't even do this, right?
Oh my god.
It was really good.
Honestly, I took the picture like 2 times because light got through the first time.
Yeah, the first time when I put my finger over it was like red because light went through my finger.
Yeah, I had to turn the lights off in my room. Also, I was like, I took it right after I got out of the shower, so I was like completely naked. And I was so paranoid that like somehow my cock got in the picture.
Yeah, I feel like we covered our bases on the protest. We did some housekeeping that was necessary.
There's not much to say new. It's just been an escalation of what already is.
You know, keep your foot on the gas pedal, you know, for change.
Yeah. I just want to say I really wish that like I went out and protested, but I'm like, I feel like a lot of people are rightfully so like risking their lives, but I'm just like, I don't want to get corona and then give it to my grandma.
That is totally when I first, I was like, this might really be bad for corona, so I'm gonna stay out of it.
Like I'm not like a go out and protest dude, but I went to the Bernie rally and that was great, and I would love to go to this like the Providence protest or something maybe, but I am like, I won't even go in restaurants right now. I'm so spooked about corona. Like, there's no... And I live right across the street from my grandma. She always comes in. Like, there's no way I am, like, endangering her life to do this.
It seemed like at the Providence one, people were wearing masks, though, which is good. That,
to me, like, it's a lot... Like, yes, wearing masks is good, but just, like, the idea of being... like... I didn't realize how much like this shit has like sort of changed the way I think until I went into a restaurant to pick up food, and I was like scared out of my mind of like there were people at the table like eating because they didn't have their masks on because they were eating, and I was just like fucking freaking out like, oh my god, what the fuck, like I'm gonna get it. And it's just it's totally changed how I see crowds, and so even like if people have masks, I'm still sketchy. It's really weird for me.
I can't be the only person who's kind of curious and like maybe I did get it and I was just asymptomatic.
I think I did because I was me and Jonah, we were in Boston.
Yeah,
that was like a fucking breakout city, and it was apparently there since like January.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
It's a huge like travel hub. Like I would totally, and I did. I think it was in December though, but I do remember getting sick.
Yeah, and you got sick like I remember. No, Corey got sick like right after we came home. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, does he have it?
Yeah.
And so I would not be surprised if we had it and we're asymptomatic, but it's still not proven. If I'm pretty sure you're less likely to get it, but it's not a fact that you cannot get it again.
I don't want people to waste a test on me because there are a lot of people who,
well, it's become, the stock has become a lot better recently. So like it's less of a waste now. It actually, it's gotten to a point in some places where they're just like unused test kits because people aren't going anymore.
Also, I just remembered, speaking of Providence, I remember last week we talked about how the Providence, like, there was an allegiance between the police and the protesters there, where, like, it was going to be really peaceful. Yeah. And, like, literally 2 days later, people snuck into the mall and looted it.
Yeah. It got bad in Providence.
So much for that.
Yeah.
I think they burned down a cruiser, too, in Providence.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, my God.
Oh, well. Shit happens.
But I want to use this to segue into... So it has, ever since I've been old enough to, like, be a part of these conversations, which I really hasn't been that long. It's been, like, 9 years probably. There's always been some people who are like, maybe there's a chance that there could be a second civil war in America.
That's, like, always in the back of my head, but then it's immediately quashed by just how fucking scary the American military is. And how, like, overbearing their power is. There's no way, like, an actual feasible amount of people could rise up. At least in my eyes. Well, one of the things I was thinking about is, so we're the third biggest country.
Behind China and India, right?
No, by landmass.
Oh, I thought you were saying by population.
No, by landmass. Behind Russia and Canada. Canada has a shit ton of land that just nobody really lives in.
Same thing with Russia. And
Russia's also Russia.
Yeah.
We are the biggest country who is really trying to do like this, like, kind of egalitarian, like, equality melting pot thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just not really that feasible. Like, maybe there's just always going to be friction because there's obviously the north-south, there's the coast versus the Midwest. Yeah. The east and the west coast aren't that similar. Alaska and Hawaii are completely isolated. Like, what the fuck is similar between Minnesota and, like, Texas?
Yeah, I
oil.
Agree. I 100% agree.
They both got oil, but yeah.
Like, it's like such a pipe dream, but I wish America was just, like, split into, like, 3 or 4 countries. Because, like, or at least maybe, like, there was America, and then there was, like, well-defined regions that had different laws as well. But, like, yeah, like, America is so different depending on where you go. We're really not, like, one country. Whereas, like if you ask someone where they're from, and you're from America and they are too, they're not going to say, oh, I'm from America. They're going to say their state. Because that's what identifies you the most, is what state you're from. And, like, where geographically and politically that lies.
And even sometimes state is too broad of a topic. Because if you're from California, like...
Yeah.
Are you
like
from...
SoCal.
Or Texas?
Yeah, are you from El Paso, Austin, Houston? Like, these are big states with varied cultures in certain regions.
And it's like, you would think that with sort of the ease of communication and, like, the internet, that cultures would be, like, less local and, like, physical. But I don't think that's ever going to change. I think people go to places with people who are similar to them in an ideological sense. So, like, yeah, the coasts are going to act one way, the east is going to be different from the west, north different from the south. Like, I don't think there could ever be a civil war, like I said, because of, like, how fucking scary the American military is. But I kind of, like, I wish there was some sort of, like, I wish it wasn't just states and then country. I wish it was states, region, and then country. I think that'd make more sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, like, it should go without saying, too, that, like, it's important to remember that when the country was actually founded and it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, like, this is gonna be this place where we can all, like, be free and independent
Mm-hmm.
and the melting pot and blah blah blah, there were 13 states.
Yeah.
Like, it's got, like, the land has gotten so much bigger. It's probably 5 times as big.
Oh, I'd say
More than
that.
that. Actually, yeah.
Because the 13 colonies, like,
It was
New
only
England.
the East
New
Coast,
England's
yeah.
fucking tiny.
And that's
compared
not
to
even
other
counting
places.
Florida. Florida wasn't even part of it.
Yeah.
Where'd it go to Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia was the southernmost state of the 13 colonies.
Yeah,
it's
so
ridiculous.
I will say, though, I don't understand, because, I mean, I get maybe because you don't want to touch on, like, super sensitive topics, but we have games about, like, terrorists, so, like, it's not totally off limits.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would be a sweet concept for a video game.
Civil
War 2.
So
That'd be cool.
So this isn't based off of the 1800s. This is based off of a modern Civil War.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I mean, Far Cry 5 is, like, kind of like that, but it's more
Really?
it's more like a religious, it's more like the police versus, like, a religious sect, but it's kind of like a civil war.
Mm-hmm.
But that'd be cool. I'd be totally down for that.
Whenever
I just thought of that now.
online, whenever people are talking about, like, oh, if there were to be another Civil War, the South would win. They all love guns and they're all so tough. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think the North would probably win again.
I mean, I think it depends on the administration. If it's a Republican administration, they'd back the South. If it's a Democratic administration, they'd back the North.
I don't even think they do that, because I think there's a lot of people in government that are there for both kinds of administrations.
Yeah,
but
but
in this hypothetical Civil War game, I feel like you would need to set it up with, like, the president dying, so it becomes like anarchy.
that makes sense. That
Mhm.
makes sense. But
Like the White House goes up in flames.
And they're like, the South is blaming the North, and the North is blaming the South, and like,
yeah,
I would like if there was, like, 5 factions. Like, there's, like,
the region.
there's, like, Midwest, there's West Coast, East Coast, there's South, and then there's, like, Alaska and Hawaii are, like, the floaters.
Alaska and Hawaii are just like, yeah, we're our own countries now, and
I
no one
honestly-
questions it.
I would, if I were to include Alaska and Hawaii, so if it was like a battle royale, I'd make it like the lobby of the game. Like, you can either be in Hawaii or Alaska. That's where you, like, meet up with your friends to join in.
Dude, we don't need any more fucking battle royale games. I don't need that shit. I want an actual video game. I'm tired of that shit.
Do we want to take a break and then we can take an ad break and then we can come back?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Are you bored of the same old tired porn? Have you seen the Riley Reid real estate video one time too many? Well, good news. Introducing Fuck.com. Fuck offers hundreds of categories, including POV, JOI, and even more obscure things such as fucking machine and fat Asian. And use promo code MIXLIX, that's MIXLIX, for 15% off of your next purchase of Fuck Premium. But hurry, the offer is first come, first serve. Only the first person to apply will get the discount. Wait a minute. It seems like the code has been redeemed by Daniel Farnworth. Well, in any case, Fuck.com serves all your porn needs, one fuck at a time. Again, that's Fuck.com, FUQ.com. Now back to the podcast. All right, we're back. Before we get into the bigger topic that I had planned for today, first I just wanted to quickly raise. So I was eating chicken wings last night,
Very cool.
and I was like, "What? Like, what is it about?" Like, because I just like got immediately transported. Like, I was alone. It was night, and I was eating chicken wings. And then I just got immediately, like, my brain just floated off into, like, Buffalo Wild Wings. What is it about chicken wings that make them bar food? Like, why do they just, like, what is a chicken wing? Because it's not like a biker bar food. It's not like, a hoity-toity food? Like, what is it? What category is a fucking chicken wing?
I don't know, but you guys obviously haven't experienced this, but like buffalo wings and beer is just really nice. It's just a nice combo. I've had it a couple times, and it's just like, I don't like beer, but it fits well.
I think there's something almost primal about eating chicken wings, that like you're eating it off the bone with your hands, like a predator, you know? Like there's something.
But like it's not like a.
It makes you feel tougher and more masculine.
But it's not like a barbecue food. Like it's not at that degree. So like I don't think of it that way. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's just like the modern like pussy version of like a flag and a veil and like a leg of mutton.
Yeah.
Like it's just that, but like if that's the Chad, like chicken wings and beer is the virgin. You know? It's just like it's very similar. Just like the hum.
But
and then,
in our society, the wings and beer is the Chad, and the dinosaur chicken nuggets are the virgin.
No, dinosaur chicken nuggets are pretty fucking Chad. I don't know what you're talking about.
The honey mustard dip, I think that's pretty virgin.
Oh, I love honey mustard, dude. Take my card.
It is
Give
good.
it back to me.
It is good.
I'll fucking be a virgin if I can do that shit.
All right, so that segues nicely. Well, of course it does, because I set these topics up in a specific order.
Ooh, smart boy.
So I went ahead and looked at some famous death row meals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna read some of these off to you. Some of the ones that I found that were the most outlandish.
I hope Surf and Turf is on there.
So we have John Wayne Connor. I'll lower my book so I don't block the mic. He got 10 hush puppies, 10 pieces of fried catfish, 2 triple burgers, and 2 pints of vanilla ice cream.
Dude, why do you want to like go into the chair feeling like sick?
All right, let me continue.
All right.
We have vegetarian, and I say that in air quotes, vegetarian Stephen Woods, who got a meat lover's pizza, fried chicken, breadsticks, chicken fried steak, bacon cheeseburgers, ice cream, Mountain Dew, root beer, Dr. Pepper, and sweet tea.
That's sick.
We have Dennis Bagwell, who got steak with A1 sauce, 3 fried chicken thighs and breasts, fries, 2 burgers, ribs, onion rings, salad with ranch, a dozen scrambled eggs with onions, a pound of bacon, tater tots, peach pie, coffee, and iced tea.
Don't tell me these guys actually like eat all of this shit, because that's impossible.
Yeah, there's no way
they
you can eat that shit.
They feast.
Why would you want to die feeling sick?
So now we have
whatever.
We have Thomas Grasso, who got 2 dozen steamed clams and mussels.
Oh, I respect that.
Barbecue ribs, half a pumpkin pie with whipped cream,
Half.
a pound of strawberries, a double Whopper, and SpaghettiOs. And related,
he had me until the end.
And related, his last words were, "I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this." Then we have...
I don't know what heinous crime he did. That's
SpaghettiOs.
It almost makes you feel like some sense of like camaraderie, and it makes a man who strangled an old woman with Christmas lights seem redeemable.
Christmas lights.
Oh, I hate
what
that.
What a
That's
fucking
funny.
cartoonish buffoon.
Yeah.
Now we have Donnie Lee Gardner, who got lobster surf and turf.
There we go.
With apple pie and vanilla ice cream, with 7-Up. But he fasted for 2 days beforehand and binged Lord of the Rings. We also have William Bonin, who, in addition to his feast, had in total 18 cans of Coke and Pepsi mixed.
Mixed?
Well, not mixed in the can, but it was assorted cans of those two.
I wish I could ask him which one he preferred.
There was a man who ordered KFC, and also a pound of strawberries.
What's with the strawberries?
And there was also a guy who ordered Kool-Aid with his surf and turf, I believe.
Ugh.
And then, last but not least, Lawrence Russell Brewer, who actually is the sole man responsible for getting this practice cut off in Texas, who got 2 chicken fried steaks, fried okra, triple bacon burger, 3 fajitas, a pound of barbecue, a meat lover's pizza, a pint of ice cream, peanut butter fudge, and he did not eat a single bite.
I love that.
So I guess
a power move.
The guys at work got a little party at the end.
Yeah, they also didn't give any to the other inmates. They just kept all that food for themselves, I guess.
Don't they like put you in a room and you eat it there?
Well, he didn't eat it.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I don't think he would have the option to give it to other people.
Well, I'm saying if you have all that food, wouldn't it be nice?
Dude, but the guards are gonna eat that shit. They don't respect the inmates.
If there's one thing I can take away from this is that I feel bad for whoever's cleaning up these guys' shits.
Yeah, dude, I hope they put a plug in there before they like pull their plug, because they're gonna have some fucking mudslides after all that.
It's gonna be muddy water, 95% accuracy, 80 power. It is gonna be a Pokemon move.
And it hits every player on the battlefield.
Oh,
even allies.
Yeah, definitely. Even allies.
So now that we know the extent to which you can actually go ham on a death row meal, I want to go around. Tell me about your guys' death row meal. And remember, because now that you've heard these, you know you can go all out. You don't have to limit it to like one entree and one side.
So, what is chicken fried steak, first off?
I don't know.
I know what it is. I've had it.
Okay.
So it's basically just fried chicken, but instead of chicken, it's steak.
So
that's what I figured.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds bad.
It's also called country fried steak.
That sounds bad.
I had it.
Also, that dude had steak with A1 sauce. Like, just ruining it.
I wasn't a huge
That's
fan.
not respectable.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say something.
We're gonna take a Dennis Bagwell's man card.
Yeah, dude, fucking give me your cock.
Also,
It's
did
gone.
all of them order burgers?
I think so. Even the guy who, he got a double Whopper. Well, the guy who ordered KFC did not.
No, most of them did get burgers.
Yeah. You just gotta add in a triple burger.
Yeah, because why
Or
not?
2. A lot of them got 2.
Yeah, and all of them, without fail, also said with bacon. So, just thought you would like to know that.
It's important.
See, I wouldn't like order that much, really. Like, I'm thinking like I want some really good like baked onion rings, not fried. I want stuffed quahogs, like maybe I want 2 stuffed quahogs. Fucking love those.
For the worldwide audience we have, explain to them what a stuffed quahog is.
I don't even. It's just like it's a quahog, which is like a big clam with like stuffing in it with the quahog mixed into it, and like peppers.
A quahog
and stuff.
is like a clam.
And a lot of time they have chorizo in it too.
Yeah, with like chorizo and peppers.
Yeah.
Absurdly good. I'll have that. I'll have my baked onion rings. I'll have a Shirley Temple, and I'll have like maybe like an eggplant parm. Like that's it for me. I don't I feel like these dudes are just like going for quantity over quality, cuz you see like Whoppers and like shit like that. Like, why would you get a Whopper and fries?
See, I respect the Whopper pick, cuz it's it makes, honestly, and again, it's hard to say this about people who these people are all murderers.
Yeah. Do you have all their crimes written down?
No, I remember that guy, the Christmas light choker. I remember him specifically. But it kind of makes me like feel their humanity. That it's like they just want like a nice comfort food. It almost be like if they asked for like their mom's cooking or something. You know what I mean?
But like mine's comfort food, but like you could order like a good like gourmet burger. Why go for a Whopper?
Because that's what they know. It's like it brings you back to like your days as a free man, you know?
Yeah, but okay, so that's what you know. You're about to die. Don't you want to explore just like one little bit before you end it all?
No. You imagine how much those
I don't
guys
want to
miss
risk
a
not
Whopper.
liking it.
You order like 18 things. If you don't like one of them, big fucking whoop. Oh, I'm adding the pumpkin pie. I respect that.
Okay.
That was a good choice.
I forgot to write this down, but apparently there was a guy who ate his whole meal and then asked for seconds and got it.
That's sick.
All right, so get me. I'm a big chicken and waffles fan, so get me crispy chicken on some nice fluffy waffles, maple syrup and gravy. I'd also like a diced pineapple. I really like pineapple. And a big bacon cheeseburger on the side with that. And then I also like the onion rings, Jonah. That was a good pick. I do onion rings, shrimp cocktail, and then a nice root beer float. I think that's what I would choose.
I'm gonna add a mint chocolate milkshake to mine, and then that'll be it.
Good choice.
Yeah, I respect that. Also, I'm totally with you guys on onion rings over fries.
Because
Easily.
for me, bad onion rings are awful. Good onion rings are absolutely fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like, good fries are okay. Good onion rings,
the ceiling is higher.
Yeah,
Totally,
much higher.
Totally.
Easier to fuck up, but much better when they're done correctly.
Yeah. But what thing worth having isn't easy to fuck up?
Why are you smiling at me like that?
I thought I just dropped some like proverb.
No,
or
that
something.
is- I agree with
I
it.
agree with you, but your face just made me think that you were setting me up for something.
I thought it was the sex thing for some reason.
Yeah, I thought I was about to
It's an
say
innuendo.
something and you were gonna dunk on me.
No, I thought I was gonna give a proverb and you guys were gonna be like, "Wow."
Max is
You
spitting
really
some
fucked
wisdom.
it up. I agree with you, but your face was
I mean,
devious.
what would you expect from the Michael Jordan of eating, you know?
Yeah, he knows his food proverbs.
Food wisdom.
For me, I would not have any side of any sort. I feel like that's a waste of stomach space.
Mhm.
I would have a double surf and turf where I would have steak, lobster, scallops, and then ribs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would add
Very respectable.
and then I would add a burger, and then I would make sure to have some sort of pasta dish as well. Maybe like some penne alla vodka. I would definitely. It's not a DSP joke. That's what I would pick.
No, that's a good.
Whenever you
dish.
say penne, I can't help but think of Dark Sea Devil.
And then, the hard part for me is dessert. Obviously, I would have Sprite.
Yeah, that's without a doubt.
Mhm.
But for dessert, because I'm not really a dessert guy. Like, I'm much more of a dinner food.
That's
kinda
why I
guy.
went back to the pumpkin pie, because that's like familiar and like
Mhm.
comforting for me.
For me, when I ordered the chicken and waffles, I kind of considered that a dessert and a breakfast item in the same
Yeah.
meal.
That's delicate.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe because I like it so much when the people order something like really like fast foody.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll be that for the people who are looking at my death row meal, and I'll get a Chili's lava cake.
Or like one of those like Oreo pies from Burger King that come in like the little like triangle cartons.
Well, I am a big fan of the Chili's lava cake.
I've had it once. It was alright.
I'm a big
It's
fan.
way too thick for me. I don't like chocolate that much.
That brings me back to one of my what I would consider an out of body experience based on how much food I ate, and I felt horrible after.
How much did you eat?
I was young.
Was it death row worthy?
It might have been. So
So now we know two stories of you filling yourself up way too much.
So I was young for this. I was like 11,
Mm-hmm.
and because obviously when you're a kid, you're used to going to a restaurant with your family.
Yeah.
This time, it was my mom and her friends, and then her children who were my age. They did not want to be with us, so they went to the bar and gave us our own booth, and we're like, just give us the
That
tab
is
when you're
so
done.
much freedom to. Oh my!
So-
How old were you again? 11.
11.
Dude, that's Chris Ann's
Just
fault.
sit by the ice cream machine and put your mouth under it, alright?
So I was like, oh my god, I can get literally whatever I want. So I ended up going. I got a couple apps. I remember that, and I also remember eating everybody else's apps too. I remember foraging around the table.
And you said you got a
foraging.
couple apps,
Yeah, I
so
did.
you're already full at this
You
point.
scavenged.
probably.
I was not full. I didn't get. I'll tell the story.
Okay, yeah.
So
Sorry.
I got that, and then I remember I ordered a full rack of ribs, but I also remembered they dropped. I remember this specifically. It was hanging off the plate, and one rib fell on the floor, and the guy was like, "Oh no, it's okay. Like we'll get that for you. We'll get you a replacement." So I thought they were gonna come out with one rib, and they came out with another rack, and I was like, "Oh, okay, sweet." So then I eat that. I got it was a long time ago, so the menu isn't the same, but whatever like the one with the most sides was also I got that. And then I also remember getting a dessert and so I ate someone else's dessert too. And mine was like meant to be shared with someone, and they had the tiniest spoonful, and then I ate the rest. And then I ate the
I
other.
feel so bad for these other kids.
The other two people's dessert, I finished theirs too, and then I didn't feel bad until I walked outside into the parking lot, and like in the parking lot, I remember just literally like standing on like a hill in the parking lot next to the car and just like groaning and being like, oh man, but I was loving it. It was like a good groan, but I don't.
You scare me with your ability to like gorge and love it.
I don't have that ability anymore. Now, like I've gotten soft. I'm washed up. I can't deal with the groaning anymore. Like I try my hardest to avoid groaning.
Good. Congratulations, you know your limits. You realize that you're a human and not a trash compactor.
I think it's a little sad.
It is a little sad. So yeah, that was one of 2 out-of-body experiences I've had. And I'll tell the other one some other point maybe. It's not the story you're thinking of. That was just straight up vomiting.
That wasn't out of body. That was just pathetic.
Consuming vomiting and consuming some more.
That was me totally tethered to the earth. There was nothing.
Maybe
out
a
of
little
body.
too deep in the ground.
There was nothing out of body.
It was you
about that.
trying to chase that first out of body experience and failing.
A bad food high.
Yeah, that. Also, one of the problems with me now is because my sleep schedule is really fucked up.
Yeah, you can't go to restaurants through your sleep schedule, really.
Well, I can, but
you can go to
You
Denny's.
can go to Denny's.
Well, I'm up at like 3 or 4. Like I can go and eat.
Yeah, true.
But the problem is those meals for me end up being breakfast. So I always get leftovers, and I never can eat that much. It's just not the same anymore.
I feel like if you just don't eat much at the end of the day, then you'll actually be hungry for breakfast. You know?
That's not possible.
How much do you eat like before going to bed? Like right before going to bed?
It depends, but I'm guilty of having a meal like right before I go to sleep.
You're not supposed to
Like
do
20
that.
minutes?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's the most unhealthy thing you can do.
What kind of meal? Like
I'll just
pasta?
No, not pasta, because you got to remember this is like really late at night. So I'm like I'm like getting like a few waffles or a few toaster strudels.
So it's just carbs.
Yeah.
So the thing is with that is like a lot of people know it makes you gain weight, but it also ruins your sleep. Like it makes your sleep quality go down.
That would definitely explain why I have horrible sleep quality.
Like if you wake up kind of groggy and like ugh.
That happens to me literally every day.
That's because you're eating before you're
it's
sleeping.
because you're fucking digesting and shit while you're sleeping.
A good rule of thumb is 2.5, 3 hours before you go to sleep. Just don't eat.
That's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so have a snack earlier, a smaller snack earlier, so you can like schedule it correctly.
Maybe. We'll see. I can't make any promises.
Oh, jeez.
We'll see how this turns out. Yeah. So then, lastly, real quick, I feel like this is something I actually had in the Nordic forest, ready for the pickings.
Mm-hmm.
Before the incident actually happened, but I was thinking about how people in high school, because we're all graduated for the people at home.
Yeah, we're adults, so fuck off.
I feel like it was a normal from the people I hear about and the people I talk to, it seems like it's a kind of a universal high school experience for somebody in high school while you're in high school to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I was a freshman, somebody might have died who was a senior, but I didn't know them.
I don't think I experienced that. Did we, Dan? I don't think we had anyone who died.
We had faculty, but we did not have any students.
Yeah, faculty's a given because
we
they're
had
old.
Faculty.
Miss Scott. Well, she was middle school.
What, Dan?
We had one teacher who, from the middle school, passed away. But I think you were already graduated when it happened.
From middle school?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, who are you talking about? Oh, fuck, yeah. Yeah. But that was when we were gone.
No, we were still in school. I remember being in anatomy class when I heard.
I thought we were gone by then.
No, we were almost gone.
Oh. That must have been, it must have been at the tail end of the year, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to ask you who this was off the air.
Yeah, I don't want to be disrespectful.
You'll remember.
Okay. Well, anyway, and then we had, like, as I had already had this in my goodie bag, ready to pull out if we ever needed something evergreen, and then, I mean, obviously, I'm 3 years out of high school now, but someone who was in my grade died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really weird. Really weird to think about. And they had kids, too.
So, I mean, we can probably tell that this maybe he wasn't on the best path if he was 3 years out and had kids.
Yeah. Let's give him the name of, like, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus wasn't really...
No, Marcus was pretty fucked.
Yeah, he died of drugs.
Yeah.
And Mark, we can say this, I feel like Marcus did not do... We got to see on the internet kind of his outbursts. Marcus was a troubled man.
Marcus was someone that I had never talked to in my entire life, but I knew so much about his life just through his Facebook outbursts.
When Marcus would get angry, he'd take it to Facebook.
Yeah, and he would, instead of telling his significant other to, like, that there was something wrong, he would just say, come the fuck home, and, like, post it on Facebook, like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself unless you come home.
Yeah,
Wasn't on a good path.
Marcus was troubled, but
it's still, I didn't think he was gonna fucking die.
Yeah, right. You never expect that someone who's like 20.
It's weird,
I
though.
think he stayed back a few years. Maybe he's like 22.
Yeah,
but...
still young.
It may have surprised us, but looking back on it, it probably shouldn't have surprised us.
But, like, it's one of those things where, like, you feel like people, they fuck up, but they get a second chance, and, like, they go beyond it. But, I mean, I didn't know that he was doing those kinds of drugs or anything.
I didn't either.
Like, again, like you said, it's probably safe to assume it, like, in hindsight, but, you know, from what we saw on the internet. But, like, I didn't think it was that bad, I guess.
Yeah.
Weird experience when I heard that. Again, I never even fucking talked to the dude.
Yeah, same.
I remember.
I don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah, I remember his profile picture on Facebook more than I remember ever seeing him in real life. So I had zero connection with Marcus.
Yeah, and I feel like, again, I think it happened when I was a freshman too, where a senior died, and it just had no impact on me because I had never seen them before.
Yeah.
So we never really had that experience of, like, in high school, somebody, like, getting into a drunk driving accident and dying.
Yeah.
The closest equivalent that I can think of for my experience, and probably Jonah's too, is when former classmates would get arrested and put in prison.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Or like, oh, did you see so-and-so got arrested for stealing?
Stealing a TV and hitting a grandma?
Yeah. Both things happened, yeah.
Separate people, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sort of it for us.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Hitting your grandma. Oh my god. Yeah, that's like our fucking Christmas choker.
Yeah.
Yes.
The grandma hitter. But you said it's like a universal thing, like, because you think it's semi-universal for most people, really?
Yeah.
I guess I've never talked to anyone about this.
I didn't think it was until, like, people would mention it. And also there's, like, you know that cartoon Daria?
Yeah.
There's an episode about that.
Really?
And, like, people are like, oh yeah, this, like, totally happened at my school too. Like, it was really fun.
Wow. That's weird to think about. I guess we're, like...
I feel like we have a small school.
Not only that, our school doesn't... It at least it used to not really have that big of a drug issue. It does now, but I don't know. I feel like we didn't have people who were, like, all that troubled. You know,
Like
your grade was fucked. So, like, I'm not surprised.
There were some troubled people.
The worst things that the troubled people in our grades did was smoke and drink. Like, it wasn't until they left high school that they got, like...
I think we're pretty ignorant, in all honesty. Like,
yeah, we weren't in those circles either.
Like, we were not super tuned in with our peers. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So, like, shit could have been happening that we wouldn't know about.
There was someone in my year who came close to dying from alcohol poisoning.
I think I know who. I think, yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like hopefully she has stopped, because apparently that happened multiple times.
Yeah, and we've had people in our grade, like, someone who was in a class with me, like, who have like completely changed because of drugs and like gotten super like fucked up, and like it's very obvious just from like I said, not fucking in tune with my peers at all, but even I fucking noticed.
It's kind of sad too, because it's like, you know, they're nice people all the time, so it's just sad to see them kind of abuse these substances.
It's like, even if like you don't like these people, what they're doing is like just sad. Like there's no other way you can really spin it.
You don't want to see someone do it.
No, without a doubt. But God, that's weird to think that someone like our age died. Like, for me, death is so like a far off concept.
Yeah.
It's like even there are those fucking people that are like, oh, I won't live to 30. Like, no, you're not thinking about your death yet. Like, it's such a far off concept that it's really weird that it hit that close to, not close to home, but like close to like my age group. It's weird.
Yeah, I've also never really understood the people who are like, oh yeah, I'll be dead by 30. Like,
I don't think they're serious. I think they're just doing it for attention.
The brightest stars burn the fastest.
For me, those are just the people who are like, dude, like, by then, I'm just gonna be, like, fucking clubbing, fucking doing coke, and fucking, and, like,
bro, I'm just
gonna
down
live the
Mount
party
Everest.
life. No, it's nothing that actually cool. It's just like, dude, I'm gonna be so fucking bazooked every single night. Like, I'm just gonna die one day. Like, it's just like, lame shit like that.
Gazooked.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, well, that was the show this week. That was
a short show.
Yeah, that was a quick one, but there again, not really that much of a news filled.
I mean, as Dan said, the brightest stars do burn the fastest.
I think it's a good thing to take a break from the news every now and again.
Totally, yeah. There are people there's one person in my family who's just like glued to CNN constantly during like the entire pandemic has been, and it's just like you need to take your mind off it at some point.
It's always good to be aware of what's happening around you, but just fucking depressing yourself with it is not productive at all. Mm-hmm. Like, every single time I go downstairs, even if no one's watching the TV, the news is always on, and I'm always the dude to shut it off. And then like 5 minutes later, someone will be like, oh, I was watching that. It's okay, sure, whatever. But people need to step back.
Yeah, so that was the show this week.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed, obviously do the whole shebang. Like,
slap that
share,
bell button.
Share.
Take advantage of our sponsor.
Yeah.
Well, they can't anymore thanks to you, Dan.
You took the
code. Maybe they should be faster.
All right, we'll see you in episode 9 later.
Good night.
Toodaloo.